Hey, what's going on? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And coming up on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we talk about the Saints' second round pick, Tyler Shough. And will he hold out of training camp due to contract negotiations? And also, if this guy in this truck rolled to your hood saying, I got apples and oranges, I got cantaloupe, then you know where I'm at.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, TJ Jones, or whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me outside of my name. I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Thank you for staying up with your boy. On this edition, we're going to be talking about Saints second round pick Tyler Shough. And will Tyler Shough hold out of training camp due to contract negotiations? But if you're new to this channel, you just stumbled across this because you like the topic, I ask that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, help the channel to grow. If you're on the fence, hopefully by the end of this episode, we would have won you over. All right. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Tyler Shough. Of course, as of right now, it is July 14th, 2025. And Tyler Shough does not have a contract with the New Orleans Saints. And, you know, the fact is, this is one of those situations that, you know, you never want to happen, right? You want to be able to sew up all of your draft picks by the time training camp starts. But we know that there are occasions where teams don't get that, right? They don't get to do that, right? It's rather there's some language inside of the contract, or maybe they are not on one accord when it comes to the numbers. You know, like there's situations like that that may cause a draft pick not to sign. And, you know, Tyler Shough has not signed, but, you know, he is one of 29 other second round picks that have not signed a contract. And some of y'all probably wondering to yourself, why is that? Why is it that Tyler Shough hasn't signed a contract? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are two players that were drafted in the second round pretty early. And it's Carson Schwarzenegger. He's the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. And you also have Jaden Higgins, who's a wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Both of these gentlemen receive guaranteed money from their respected organizations. You know, I'm looking at both guys' contracts right now. Carson Schwarzenegger, he got an $11.7 million fully guaranteed 4-year deal with the Cleveland Browns. And then you have Jaden Higgins, who basically received the same exact thing. When you have situations like this that occur, folks, you know, it pretty much resets the market. There was I guess like a standard for second round picks. But both of these guys end up getting guaranteed money, which makes other second-round picks want the same exact thing. You know, Quinshon Judkins, he was looking for a payday, which he would receive guaranteed money. Unfortunately, you know, he ended up, you know, getting into a little bit of trouble dealing with domestic violence, and that's going to be pretty much off the table for him, unfortunately. But you have other second round picks that want the same exact thing. And when you look at Tyler Shough, who feels like more than likely, he will be the starting quarterback. I mean, according to the way he feels and maybe his representation feels, if he competes and he beats out Spencer Rattler, then he would be the starting quarterback of the Saints. So he feels like he needs to be paid accordingly, at least have some guaranteed money. Anytime situations like this happen, you can tell like it completely frustrates other organizations. And, but look, I'm a firm believer in guys getting paid. Like, you're not going to see me getting mad at a guy because he sits out because he wants to get paid. When it comes to Tyler Shough, I stand by that. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I stand by that. If Tyler Shough wants to hold out of training camp because he wants a fair deal, which means that he will receive guaranteed money, he is well within his rights to do so. Now, with that being said, I also feel that if Tyler Shough does not report to training camp on July 22nd in the year of our Lord 2025, that would be one of the worst decisions in football history. And here's the reason why. Tyler Shough is competing for a starting spot with Spencer Rattler. This is who is more than likely going to be the starter, possible franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future. You're competing for that. Now, you can say that he was handpicked by the masses to be the succession plan that Saints fans have been looking for since Drew Brees retired. You can say all that, but Spencer Rattler is not going to just give him the keys to the kingdom, not without a fight at least, right? If we out here dueling, right? I challenge you to a duel. I take the glove and I slap you in the face with it, right? We got to duel. I mean, I might end up, getting stabbed. I might end up getting shot. Y'all know how it is, classic duels, right? Take 10 paces, turn around and shoot. But I am going to make sure that you know that I am going to challenge you and you're going to know that you've been in a challenge. This man is not going to go away. So you can't just sit around here and say, oh, well, I'm succession plan. They called me. Like, have you ever seen the episode of Martin? They called me when he had that talk show interview. Like, I got this in a bag. No, you cannot do that. Like, you got to make sure that you are doing everything that you can. And also, even if Tyler Shough decides to sit out, I don't want to hear it from no Saints fans. I'm serious, man. I ain't never seen so many people like just jump on the side of organizations when guys talking about getting paid. When we know good and god dog on well that these organizations are going to look out for themselves. They're going to look out for themselves. If a player goes out there and he gets hurt, and it doesn't matter how much production that player gives, they are going to move on from that player and replace him. So I am a firm believer in players sitting out, holding out, and doing what is necessary for them to get the bag. I have no problem with that, but it wouldn't be very smart when it comes to Tyler Shough. I mean, I don't understand what type of leverage you have, and that's maybe what the Saints are feeling. Like, okay, you can, try to play hardball. We have Spencer Rattler over here. That's the way they feel. If you want to, take reps away from yourself and a possibility of be a starter, then be my guest. It is a tough, cold world that we watch every single year when it comes to the National Football League. It is a business at the end of the day. It gives us so much enjoyment. It gives us so many emotions from week to week, but it is a business at the end of the day. And he has to do what's necessary. But this is a very tough decision. Do you hold out or do you go out there and compete? Now, I would say that the chances of Tyler Shough getting hurt in training camp are very slim, right? We know the red jerseys don't get touched. Nobody's going to touch Tyler Shough. If they get close to him, then more than likely whoever it is might end up getting cut. Or if they're a high-profile guy, probably get chewed out. Or if you are a high-profile guy, you know better than to try to, touch the merchandise. So I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like there's nothing that, is going to happen to him in training camp, maybe tweak something, knock on wood. But I mean, you pretty much are pretty safe if you're a quarterback going into training camp because nobody can touch you. You know what I mean? That's like, something happens or you tweak something, but it won't be due to contact. So it's a tough decision, but I mean, I understand, but I don't feel like that would be in his best interest. Let me go ahead and read some of your comments here. Let me go ahead and read some of y'all comments. Thank y'all for being here. Like I said, it's a little late, but I appreciate y'all for sticking by your boy. Addison says, it's a business at the end of the day, but he gonna max me if he holds out. I'm not gonna get mad at the guy for holding out. I'm just not gonna do it. It's a business. Like, we can't say, it's a business on one hand, and then guys treat it like a business and we have a problem with it. Like, I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying from a competitive standpoint, it would not be ideal for him to go out there and, not go out there at all and not, until a contract is reached. I don't know if that's going to happen because right now you have other teams that are with second round picks and they are waiting for somebody else to get paid in order for them to have some other type of leverage. But everybody wants guaranteed money. When that $11.7 million became guaranteed from Schlesinger and Jaden Higgins, everybody wanted it. It's just the way the league is right now, folks. Just like with Chris Olave right now. Garrett Wilson received a 4-year, $130 million contract, $90 million guaranteed from the New York Jets. And we'll be talking about that on the podcast immediately following this, the state of the NFL. So if you want to hear about Garrett Wilson's contract negotiations and deal and how that can affect wide receivers in the league, like Chris Olave, come on over to the state of the NFL. But yeah, I mean, these guys set the market. And when it's time for another guy to get paid, they go to the table with that player in mind. So Schlesinger and Higgins getting that guaranteed money, second round picks, none of them have signed a deal since then. And, like I said, it's all about leverage at the end of the day. Trey Harris, that's a good point right here. I think I seen Michael put this on there. He says Trey Harris for the Chargers is holding out. I can see a lot of second round picks holding out this year. Yeah, Mike, I was just about to mention Trey Harris. Like, he was going to hold out for the Chargers. You're absolutely right, because all of these guys want that guaranteed money. I like the fact Rattler is getting work in with the wide receiver room. Yeah, me too. Like you want to make sure that you are on the same page because, Spencer Rattler believes that he is going to be, the starting quarterback, for the New Orleans Saints. So you want to treat it as such. Hold on 1 second. Let me put my charger in. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Got to put my laptop charger in before the show closes before I wanted to. All right. Sorry about that. The show gonna end before we wanted to if I ain't put that charge in. Oh yeah, and speaking of which, man, for those that don't know, the picture behind me, some of y'all, if y'all from New Orleans, y'all already know, that is the truck of the late great Mr. Okra. Mr. Okra was prominent in the city, man. He was known for going throughout the 9th Ward, 8th Ward, 7th Ward, 3rd Ward in this truck, and selling fruit. And this truck right here, like, this is a little bit of an update, but it used to be an old raggedy truck, and he used to have a bullhorn on the top, and he'll have like an intercom in his hand, and he'll just ride slowly down your street and your hood, talking about, I got apples and oranges, I got cantaloupe, I got watermelon. People, go over there to the truck and buy some fruit from him. And I mean, man, that guy was a legend. Guy was a legend in New Orleans, man. If you grew up in New Orleans around 80s, 90s, like I'm pretty sure you done seen Mr. Okra roll through your hood, man. So rest in peace to Mr. Okra. Thought that we'll show him some love here on the State of Saints podcast. A true New Orleans legend right there, man. I know some of y'all know Mr. Okra is. I know if you from the 7, 8, the 9, or the 3rd Ward, you definitely know who Mr. Okra is. He done rolled through your hood a couple times. All right? Couple times. All right, let me go ahead and stroll down a little bit. James says he's going to sign. I can't see him holding out, but if he does, I wish him the best. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to get your money, and you want these guys to be able to get their money. But like I said, I don't think he should hold out. I think he should go to camp and compete, and because these things are going to work themselves out. It's not like the Saints not going to pay him. I understand, TJ, but prove yourself. AK-41 didn't sit out, and he's a proven player. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can use that as an example, but everybody is not the same. Like, you can make an argument that Alvin Kamara already got paid. Like that was Alvin Kamara's second contract. That wasn't his first, if I'm not mistaken. That was Alvin Kamara's second contract. So Alvin Kamara can make that decision. But this man here, he ain't got no bread. He ain't got no money. It's different, and I get it. Alvin Kamara is a star, and what he did really showed good leadership, but Alvin Kamara going to be all right, right? I mean, if Alvin Kamara would have set out, wouldn't have hurt him, and like I feel like the situations are different. You can't look at Alvin Kamara and say, well, Alvin did it, he should do it. No, everybody's different. Like, this man has not yet signed a deal. So it's within his rights to do so. Like, I'm not looking at no other dude. I don't care what another guy did. That's on him. Right? And that's what we do. And that's why I have an issue with it. I apologize. I get what you're saying, but that's why I got a problem with, man. We always quick to look at these players and talk about them being selfish and them not doing what's right for the team. But we never turn around and look at how the teams sometimes do these dudes. They don't. Like, we do not. We do not sit back and give these guys, these players, the type of grace we give to the organization. And you know why? Because we don't want to look at our favorite teams, our favorite organizations, and look at them as them, being bad for business or doing down bad business. I just got to go hood with y'all. Doing business down bad. We don't never want to do that. But we always want to count guys' bread and talk about what they should do. Like, what the organizations need to do when you know that you need a starting quarterback, when you feel like this guy could possibly be the future of your franchise, you need to make sure that this guy is paid and compensated the way that he should be, and to make him feel comfortable for when he goes out there, he can give his all. I am not going to look. I don't care if the dude don't show up. Like, it's well within his rights to do so. Like I said, it wouldn't be ideal, right? Because you're in a competition. But if he didn't, in the name of, contract negotiations and trying to get leverage, I'm all for it. I support the players. I support those guys. Those guys go out there, put their lives on the line, their bodies on the line. And if those players get hurt, if these players get hurt, they are going to just cast them players to the side and replace them with somebody else. So I'm not gonna sit around here and talk about these players like they don't have a right to sit out if they decide to do so. Everybody's not the same. Like, I'm serious. Like, you can't look at Alvin Kamara and be like, Alvin did it, I'm gonna do it too. Like, nah, bro. That man, that if I support any player that wants to sit out if they feel like they're gonna create some leverage. Because I feel like anybody that's watching that, they're being selfish because they're thinking about their own personal interests. Like, if you sitting at home, you ain't got no dog in the fight, so to speak. Sorry to all my PETA and dog lovers out there. It's just a figure of speech, But at the end of the day, it's like we so quick to talk about what somebody else could do with their bread, do with their relationship, do with their job. Like, put yourself in that situation. If somebody telling you, okay, man, look, I feel like I deserve this, would you still show up to work? I mean, it's kind of different when it involves you. We can always talk about what somebody else needs to do, but it's a whole different story when we're a part of it. I try to put myself in certain situations. How would I think, about a situation if I was thrust into it? Would you think the same way? I don't know. I got a feeling this rookie class will have a few top performers. Yeah, I think so too. I think they have some really talented guys that they drafted. And also just overall in the draft period, man, a lot of talented guys. TJ bringing back some old New Orleans memories. Keep it up, brother. Yeah, man. Look, I try to find some staples, locations, individuals. And I've been doing it for the last couple of episodes, but I don't see that stopping anytime soon, man. So we gonna try to keep them backdrops, coming, because some of y'all know, and some of y'all, if you don't know, get a little New Orleans history lesson. He was on the news Friday WWL. Yeah, Mr. Okra, man. I got apples and oranges. Hey, he used to come through he used to come through with that big horn. And he had that funny horn. He had that funny horn to go, yeah. That's what his horn sounded like. One question, TJ, how high was everyone on the draft class that brought us offense and defensive rookie of the year? Let's see, how high? I think Alvin Kamara was the 3rd round pick. Marcus Williams was a 2nd round pick. Marshawn Lattimore was a 1st round pick. Ryan Ramczyk was a 1st round pick. I think Alex Anzalone was a 4th round pick. I want to say Trey Hendrickson was a 3rd also. And then you had Akadim Muhammad. I think he was like maybe a 6th round pick. So yeah, that was a pretty damn good draft, man. Each one of those guys right now are continuing to be difference makers on team. Even Akadim Muhammad. He was making plays with the Detroit Lions last season. But yeah, that was a talent. I think that's the greatest draft class of any team in the history of football. Like I would challenge any fan of any other NFL team to match up their best draft class with the New Orleans Saints draft class. I don't think you're going to find one. Everybody out there eating. Everybody out there, has been a difference maker. As a fan, we hate the negotiations at the same time as a business of independent contractors. Yeah. I just don't like, I stand by this. I just don't like how people just get mad at these players for wanting to do what's best for them and their family. Like, if you don't show up to work and you have a prominent position and you just trying to make sure that you are paid, fairly, you would want people to give you the same grace that, I feel like you need to give some of these players. But once again, I think it has a lot to do with our own personal interests. Like, it's not like, oh man, he need to be out there. Like, why are you saying this? Why are you saying this? Like, if this was, man, give me somebody. If this was DeMarco Jackson and he was in a contract negotiation, would you be sitting up here talking about he need to be out there? Probably not, right? Because DeMarco Jackson, special teams guy, backup to the backup, throughout his entire career since he came out of Appalachian State. But it's the fact that you know how much of a difference Tyler Shough would actually be. You're looking for Tyler Shough to go out there to throw the football around. You're anticipating watching him throw the football around. So that's your own personal interest. And I can't get down with that, man. I am not about to sit up here and talk about or criticize a guy for doing something that I don't know if I would be doing if I was in their shoes. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I put myself in those shoes, would I be doing the same doggone thing? I don't know. So I'm not going to criticize them for that, especially when we see how cutthroat the league can be, man, how they chew guys up and spit them out sometimes, man. Like, no disrespect, but that's just the truth. So I give players I give them like grace when it comes to like them trying to negotiate their contracts, because a lot of times, it's probably recommended by their agents or, their representation. to do these things in order for them to be able to create leverage. I mean, y'all remember Myles Garrett? Like Myles Garrett went out there talking about he wanted to get traded. It's time for him to move on. He goes on Radio Row during Super Bowl week talking about, I don't know if this the place for me. I don't know if they still need me. They gave him that big-time contract extension, made him the highest-paid pass rusher in the NFL. Is he in Cleveland right now? All I'm saying, guys are going to do what they need to do in order for them to get leverage, in order for them to be able to maximize their portfolio. Somebody come to you with some bull on your job. Okay, man, look, check this out. Okay, Derek, look, check it out. Check it out. Derek, I know you've been at this job, for the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, but what we're going to do is, normally we give you a pay raise this year. Nah, we're not going to give you another one for another 3 years. Let's see how you act. Okay, man, I got to take one for the team. You're going to be like, nah, where my money? You're going to go Rick Ross. Where my money? I need cash. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. But I love getting fruit and vegetables from them guys. It's so organic. Yeah, man, fruit, man. Like shrimp, you can get some shrimp off the back of the truck. Like, the guys used to be selling shrimp, wrap it up in that newspaper. Man, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. You go on Louisa Street, you riding, going toward Gentilly. Seafood man on the side of the road. Like, that was during the time where you can actually trust some folk, Right now, you can't trust everybody. But you go out there, man, maybe get about 3 pounds of that shrimp. Get 3 pounds of shrimp, you wrap it up in that newspaper before you put it in that Winn-Dixie bag tied up tight. You know what I'm saying? So you won't be smelling shrimp too bad on your way home. I mean, those were like staples, like, staple individuals in New Orleans. They're up there with your neighborhood wino. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there was one next to everybody's stove that they grew up with. Those people end up being staples over time. It gets to a point when they're not out there, you're wondering where they at. Yeah, but I'm not paying top dollar for any person in any career that's not proven. What job do that? Look, yeah, but at the same time, he is proven. That's the reason you drafted him. He's proven enough in order for you to draft him. So yeah, he should get paid. It's no different. Look, it's no different. If you're an intern coming out of college, good grades, good portfolio, good letter of recommendation, they get these jobs at these Fortune 500 companies. No, they ain't coming up there being no executive or nothing like that, but at the same time, they'll probably make them at least a junior executive, right? Give him a little bit of bread until, he proves himself, and then, he starts to go up the corporate ladder, start, doing the right things, numbers looking good. Then, he ends up getting promoted, and next thing you know, you got the corner office. But, he has to start somewhere. There's somebody in the building that saw the potential inside of him. I say that to say this. The Saints drafted Tyler Shough with the 40th pick. He deserves to be paid. That man should not be sitting up here with, I'm so grateful to be here. No. Like, they drafted him because they saw something inside of him. And we should understand it. Like, you come on. Like, bruh. Who does this? Like, seriously, who does this? If you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're at a job, look, it's quid pro quo around this mug, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You gave me this job. I appreciate it, but I got the skills and the ability to do this job. I want to get paid. You ain't walking up here, oh, I'm so grateful. Oh, they gave me the job. So, yeah, no. Man, look, I possess skills that make me the right fit for this job. I appreciate you all. When we went through the interview process, you picked me, but you picked me because you felt I had the ability to do the job. You picked me, you selected me to be your significant other because you seen some qualities inside of me. And I shouldn't just sit around here and be like, I'm so grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful to you. But at the same time, like, I'm somebody. That is what it's like in the National Football League. These guys have skills, abilities. They get drafted in certain spots because teams see something good in these players. So these guys shouldn't just be walking around your head in hand, head down. Like, they should have a level of confidence. I'm not saying the confidence to a point where you just like, man, forget you, I'm out. But they should have a level of respect for your ability because they selected you. So pay the man. Like, I don't see, look, I don't have no problem. Absolutely no problem when guys trying to negotiate and trying to create leverage for themselves. Because we all know what the NFL will do with guys that are injured, guys that can't play no more, guys that have been dogs for years. But all of a sudden, they feel like that, that dog may, now he got a limp or whatever like that. He walking a little bit slow. Now they trying to old yellow the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all get what I'm saying? You're not. Y'all can't do that, man. Don't be like that. I get it. It is a frustrating thing to watch a player that you are looking forward to seeing go through a contract negotiation. But at the same time, see what it is really about. It's not about the frustration of the contract negotiation. It's the frustration of you not getting what you want from a fan's perspective. See, I'm going to tell the truth to y'all, man. I'm not just going to try to tell you what you want to hear to keep you around. I'm going to give you the real deal. Your emotions, my emotions, when it comes to certain players, make us react the way that we do. It's not about the contract negotiation. It's about the contract negotiation affecting our emotions. Let this man get paid. But like I said, it goes back to what I was saying. He should go out there and compete. He should go out there and compete. I agree. Like, I feel like it will hurt him more than help him. So he should go out there and compete. But at the same time, if he doesn't, I understand why. 17 was a great draft class, one of the best ever. I think it was the best ever. Spare me, some of the Saints fans were complaining that we drafted Shough, and now all of a sudden people are mad he hasn't signed rookie deals. Dalton, you know how it go, man. We going to be mad about something. I'd rather be mad when, there's something to be mad about, not, predetermining reasons to be upset. I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out of the way and get mad, before it really, starts to happen. So I can be like, I was mad first. I was mad first. Like, come on, man. Look, I told y'all, man, I'm gonna be real. I can't be nothing else but that. I promise you. I understand. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, don't get it twisted. I am a Saints fan, right? I'm a journalist, broadcaster, but I'm a fan at the end of the day. When the Saints aren't winning, I'm just as emotional about them not winning as you are. Because I grew up. It's embedded in me. Like, it's in a very fabric and very essence of who I am, this team. New Orleans, culture, guys like Mr. Okra, may rest in peace, like, embedded inside of me. So when things don't go right with the team, of course I'm frustrated. Just like you, but at the same time, I understand whether, it's an emotional thing. People mad, because they want to see this man go out there and throw the football around. And they ain't trying to hear about no contract negotiation. But you got to do what's best for you, man. You got to do what's best for you. You can't worry about what nobody else thinks. I'm talking life and this situation. You can't care about what people think. Or people going home with you. Or people paying your bills. Or people in your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Or people like going through going through the situations with your significant other. Are they making those payments? No. On your car or anything else? No, absolutely not. So, come on. Sitting up here caring? No. You got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you, your family. And you can't think about what nobody else thinks. College is the job interview. Getting drafted means you're hired and time to negotiate salary. It follows the same process in corporate and public jobs. Thank you, Doc. Same way. Same way. Same way. Same way. Same way. A college grad still gets an entry level salary. Nah, this guy is looking for a parachute. I don't think he's looking for a parachute. Hot man, I want to make this very, very clear, because I want people to understand that this isn't just him. There are only two as of right now. I don't know what happened upon the making of this video, but as of right now, upon the making of this video, there we go. Only 2 second-round picks got contracts. Jaden Higgins with the Houston Texans and Carson Schwarzenegger with the Cleveland Browns. They got $11.7 million guaranteed. So all 30 other second-round picks are not paid because these two individuals got guaranteed contracts. This has absolutely nothing to do with, he just wants to break the bank. If that's the case, you got 29 other guys that are trying to do the same thing. That's why I want everybody to be careful and understand what the heck is going on before you make false assumptions about the situation. Understand there are 29 other guys other than Tyler Shough who have not got paid. It is Tyler Shough and 29 other men who have not gotten paid by their teams who are second-round picks. So I want to make that very, very clear before we start talking about, oh man, he trying to be Big Bang Hank. He trying to get that Scrooge McDuck. No. 29 other guys, 29 other gentlemen are negotiating deals as well. TJ, you got to love the same people calling themselves patriotic Americans and believing in free market economy, getting mad when these athletes maximize their value as assets to major corporations. Yeah, I mean, but once again, it's not that you got to know where to channel your anger and your frustration. I just want people to understand that, man. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be frustrated. Like, you want to see the guy play. You don't want any hiccups or anything to prohibit you from seeing Tyler Shough maximize his potential and, be that quarterback that you anticipate. Nothing wrong with that. But football is a business, man. Once you get the business out of the way, we all can have fun. Let's be real, TJ. That's how bad contracts start. Foskey got picked second, around 40th overall. Would you pay him a gumbo nowadays? Proven players get the money. Yeah, proven players get the money, but at the same time, football is a business. Look, it's monkey see, monkey do. I know some of y'all know y'all done heard that term. Monkey see, monkey do. It don't matter. Think about this. Let me hold on. Let me pull something up real quick. I want to pull up. I'm about to pull up top quarterback salaries right now. I'm pulling up top quarterback salaries in the NFL right now. Hold on, let me pull it up. Because I want y'all to understand this, right? Life isn't fair. Like, that's just what it is. It's not about being fair. It's about what the market is. Now, listen to this list, right? These are the top quarterbacks that are paid in the National Football League. Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Did anybody hear Patrick Mahomes' name? Did anybody hear Patrick Mahomes' name? I'm going to read these quarterbacks off again. Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. The best quarterback of his generation is not the highest paid quarterback. The highest paid quarterback is a guy who has underachieved in playoff performances throughout his entire career, even though I think he's very talented in Dak Prescott. Joe Burrow, he belongs on the list. Josh Allen belongs on the list. Trevor Lawrence, come on, man. You telling me Trevor Lawrence deserves to make more money than Lamar Jackson? He deserves to make more money than Jalen Hurts, the reigning Super Bowl MVP. It's not about it's not about performances sometimes. It's about the market. The market is saying that Jaden Higgins, Carson Swetzinger got $11.7 million guaranteed. And guess what? Those guys ain't played a game. They ain't played a game. And these other guys are like, man, I got drafted in the second round too. I'm a second round pick. That's the only thing that separates them is the number in which they were selected. But when you're a second round pick, it's pretty much the same pot. These guys reset the market by getting guaranteed money. It is about what the market is, not so much about what you've done, who you are, what type of performance that you're putting on. It is about the market. I like Patrick Mahomes is not a top 10 paid quarterback in the National Football League. Man sitting up here with 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl championships, multiple league MVPs. And he ain't even 30 years old yet. And this man ain't even on the list. Sometimes it's not about production. Sometimes it's not about that. It's about, when is your payday? When is your time? That's just the way that it goes, folks. TJ, what it is? Do you see one case for second rounders to hold out? Is they are expected to start game 1? Yes. I don't think it's going to affect them at all because I think you're going to have some second round picks that are going to show up. You're going to have some second round picks that don't. TJ, not shoot the messenger, but I never like getting paid based on the market, like selling a house. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna shoot you for that. I'm not, I'm not gonna shoot the messenger for that. I get it. It's not it. Look, some people may not like it, just like you, Rand. Some people may not like it, but that's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is, man. Like the market in ways don't make sense. That Patrick Mahomes not even on this list, but that's just how the market is. And when it's your turn, it's your turn. And you set the market. And then somebody else come after you that's probably much better than you and be like, man, this dude got paid such and such, such and such. Man, he ain't never been to playoffs. He ain't win no playoff games. I don't want a Super Bowl, with the playoffs, I'm MVP. So, yeah, I'm gonna jump him. And then all of a sudden, the next person, they going to want that money. And so on and so forth. Dak Prescott as of right now, look, this was Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got a $60 million a year deal. 4 years, $240 million. He gets paid $60 million a year. 60. When Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCartney, Michael Penix, when it's time for them to get paid, when it's time for them to get that guapo, guess what? They're going to be getting paid $70, $80 million a year. My boy can't throw past 10 yards right now. Shoot, I'm trying to get his left-handed tail. Shoot, he might be making $200 million. I kid. But seriously, man, like when it comes to Jaden Daniels, shoot, man, these guys gonna be getting paid, man. This is just how the market is. All right, man, we're gonna go ahead and switch over. We're gonna go to the state of the NFL. I put the link inside of the comments. If you want to come over and talk NFL, we're going to be talking about Garrett Wilson contract and what that can mean for guys that are up for big paydays like Saints wide receiver Chris Olave. How would this affect him? How would this affect negotiations for wide receivers? And also, former New Orleans Saint Teddy Bridgewater getting suspended by his high school, for his former high school, man. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So come on over to the State of the NFL. Shouts out to everybody that checked out the last episode. We talked about Quinshon Judkins, getting arrested for domestic violence and how that's going to affect his career. Man, we off and running on the State of the NFL, man. We got some good guests coming up this week. I just confirmed on Wednesday, we're going to have Brian McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champion. We're going to have him on the show. We're going to be talking to him about his Pittsburgh Steelers and, the addition of Aaron Rodgers and how Aaron Rodgers' personality can possibly coexist with a dominant personality like Mike Tomlin and get his other thoughts about some of the things that's going on around the National Football League, as well as NFL Network's Steve Weiss. He will be a guest on the show as well. Look, man, we're going to try to get the guests, the well-respected individuals on the show to talk to us about topics that's going on around the National Football League. So if you're into that type of stuff, come on over to the State of the NFL, man. We're trying to really grow that channel and really get those shows going. I'm excited to do those shows, man. It's also exciting just to see some familiar people, come over there with me and, support as we try to build that brand on the State of the NFL side. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Much love to each and every one of you. Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Previous episodes available right here on YouTube. We just confirmed that the first week of August 3rd, will be the return of the NFC South Roundtable for the 2025 NFL season. I'm excited to be back with my guys Clay, James, and Smitty, talking to you all about the NFC South. Also on Wednesday, Saints Talk with Timothy J. Jones. That will be the final episode during the weekly, live stream. All right, we're going to transition and go to post New Orleans Saints games, preseason and regular season. So we'll be back with that format. I'll keep you all posted on when you can be able to check those episodes out. And also you can follow me on X at TJAYJones8 and follow the State of the NFL's X page at State of the NFL. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?